Hey everyone, how y'all doing today? So you hear this noise? I'm gonna tell you what's causing it. Okay, so this is an enclosure made by Aki. I guess that's how you pronounce it. And I had some external hard drive, well, some hard drives that I had in some computers that I swap out and I turned them into an external enclosure. So when I got this case about 2 years ago, it was working fine. Then all of a sudden it started making all that noise that you heard earlier. So what I discovered was, I thought it was the hard drive that was causing the issue. So I replaced a couple hard drives and it's still making that noise. And come to find out, this enclosure has a built-in fan. And apparently the fan just went AWire one day and it just started making a lot of noise. The same noise you were hearing. So I've got some other enclosure from the store, mainly from Seagates. And those don't have an internal fan. They just use the vents to actually filter out the air. So to kill this noise, and it seems like it's never going to stop because I've tried every little thing I could so far. So I decided I'm going to go with a fanless enclosure for these two hard drives in this case right here. So the enclosure that I got to replace this noise box right here is one made by Yota Master. It's a 2-drive enclosure. So this enclosure has no fan. It's just got some ventilated holes to let the heat out. So let's open this box and see what's on the inside. Okay, now that I got everything out the box, I got the instruction book, I got the power supply, got a screwdriver, got the USB cable, and some screws for the hard drive. So looking at these two enclosures right now, side by side, this one has a lower profile. I like that. This one is a higher profile, but the strange thing is both of them holds two hard drives. Now I don't know why this guy over here has a higher profile compared to this guy, but they both hold a 3.5-inch hard drive. So both of them really pop open from the front. And I like the fact that they have this aluminum look to it. I don't think it's real aluminum. It might be stainless steel, something like that, but I like that aluminum look to it. Now one difference I want to point out between these two brands is this one has a lock and key mechanism. So it comes with a little key that I can lock these hard drive and make sure they stay on the inside. Somebody don't walk off with them. This one doesn't have that feature, but you know what? I don't have to worry about that because nobody's going to get into my little area to even mess with my hard drives anyway, so I didn't need that locking feature on this one, and it's okay. My main feature for another hard drive replacement is to just go fanless. So I'm going to take these out and transfer them over to this guy. So it's pretty easy to take out because they just pop right in. See, nothing to it. Slide right out. See, the doors pop open, the hard drive slide in, you lock them in place, and you're good to go. But like I said, I have to retire this thing because it's making way too much noise. So with this one right here, that has one door to access both drives, while this one over here has two separate doors for each drive. So we're gonna pop that open, slide the tray out. Now the trays come all the way out for you to put the screws in. So that's why I have this little screw bag that came with the case. I'm just gonna put one on each side, just for the sake of time. So I just put one on each side, just to get things rolling, you know what I mean? It uses 4 screws, but like I said, I'm just putting 2. Now I'm gonna slip that first hard drive in, back in the spot. It has a groove on top that it slides into and then it snaps into place. Okay, so now that I got the first hard drive in, it's time to take out the second case and put that one in. So I'm gonna line it up, put 2 screws in. I'll go back later on and probably put these other set of screws in, but I want to make sure this thing works before I get too comfortable with it. All right, so let's get this old guy out the way. Hook up the new power supply. Okay, so I got the power supply hooked up. I got the USB cable connected. So now it's about powering it on. Now on the other case, the power button was on the front. With this new case, the power button is on the back. No big deal to me. Okay, so now that I got it connected to the laptop, everything seems to be working fine. The drives pop up like it should. I can see all my folders and my data, and everything is all good and working. So now I got my peace and quiet back compared to this noisy box that I was having over here. But I don't think all hope is lost on this one. What I'm gonna try to do is take this thing apart, and maybe I can disable the fan or see what's really going on the inside to actually see if I can replace the fan, maybe. But in the meantime, I just needed something that's a little bit quiet so I can get my work done and concentrate, because you know I'm sitting there working on these videos and this drive over here just making all this noise. I can't even hear myself in the video where I can edit it right, because noisy box over here just want to have the center of attention. So now this one's going to blend with the other drives that I have on my shelf to make sure everybody's just peaceful and quiet and I can work in peace. So what I would recommend, if you're thinking about getting an external hard drive enclosure because you're trying to put some hard drives that you have laying around in a case, I would recommend you get one without a fan, because those fans, I think eventually just gonna fail and they're gonna start making all kind of weird noise. So I had this guy over here for like 2 years and it was working fine. It's just recently it started making all that weird noise. So go with the fanless one. They work fine. If your house is well ventilated as far as air conditioning, you're not working in the extreme heat, then you really don't need a fan. These things can actually function as long as they have some way of venting out the heat. The room temperature that's going on inside your house, usually you have the air conditioning running, or even in the winter, even if you got the heat, it is not like a heat box where these things gonna burn up. And I don't use them as a main drive anyway. These are actually using data. I just use them to access my data, you know, all my files that I have stored externally. So they go to sleep when they're not being used. And this one is made out of aluminum. I know earlier I said it was made out of stainless steel, but this is actual aluminum right here. So it's sturdy, it's tough. I wouldn't hit it with a sledgehammer or anything like that, but it can handle little bumps and bruises. The link to this drive is going to be in the description if you're looking for a hard drive enclosure. Okay, so I want to thank you for taking the time for watching this video. I look forward to see you in the next one. Have a good one.